Well, Erin Dooley is a screenwriter, long-distance hiker, which I really like, and lover of God, which we all like. She joins us today to talk about the way she combined all three in her film, Way to Forgiveness. Erin, thanks so much for being with us. Tell us what made you decide to make Way to Forgiveness.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me. Well, I was going to be walking the Camino anyway, and I figured, well, if you're a filmmaker and you're going to travel across the world to another country, you might as well bring your camera along. So I recorded my experience, and I had a book on forgiveness, so I just talked to people about forgiveness and recorded the interviews. And at a minimum, I thought I would have a video diary of my experience, but then when I watched the footage, there was an interview with one of the guys from Spain that was a volunteer, and over the course of like a 20-minute conversation, he went from not considering forgiveness as an option to, when he was hurt, to saying, oh, that's interesting, maybe I'll think about forgiving. And I thought, well, if somebody can go in 20 minutes just by bringing up the topic to have that pivot, then maybe I should share my story. So I put together the film and have been sharing it.
And for you personally, because I know the guy sitting next to me has long had a desire to make the walk, the Camino. It has such a pull on people and provides such unique healing. What was your personal experience like?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I kind of mark my life pre-Camino and post-Camino because it was very impactful for me. And they do say that like the Camino is going to call you, and whenever it's meant to be, you're going to be able to go on the Camino. And because I had been interested for about 15 years before I went, and it was very transformative for me. I'm still friends with people that I met along the way, and it really impacted my healing. I was going through a divorce, so obviously a very sad time for me, but speaking with the other pilgrims and just having a lot of solitary time with God, it just really helped to deepen my faith with God, and from a lot of different aspects, ways that I hadn't really thought about my relationship with God. But when your full-time job is to walk, you're walking for 8 hours a day, you do have a lot of time to think and reflect. And so it's the most impactful time I've had in my life. So if anybody has an inkling to go, that I hope that they do pursue it and go.
Erin, we keep saying the Camino, but I'm sure there's people who are watching right now who have no idea what we're even talking about. Can you tell people what the Camino is?
Yeah, it's a 500-mile trek. Well, there's many journeys. So Camino de Santiago, Santiago de Compostela is where St. James the Apostle's remains are said to be. And so people for over 1,000 years have been making a pilgrimage. And the most common way starts in France and goes across northern Spain, but there's many different routes. So it's a religious pilgrimage, although a lot of people that I met went for different reasons. I kind of can count on my hands the few Catholics that I met. So people of all faith traditions or no faith actually do it now. But it's a religious pilgrimage for people to walk.
Erin, you know, forgiveness and healing seem elusive for people, but they're kind of embedded in the journey of Lent that we're about to begin. In your talks on the subject, what do you recommend as a first step?
Well, the first step for anything in life is making a choice. So that's always where you start. And for me, that was where I was stuck for a long time. And, you know, as Catholics, when we say the Our Father, it's right in there, you know, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive others. So we know that Jesus is our example. We're supposed to be forgiving of other people. He wants us to be in relationship with people. And so to make that choice to, out of obedience, to be like, yes, of course, God is asking us to do this because it's the right thing for us. And so to make that choice, and if you make a choice to be in line with God's will, then he's going to bless you with being able to forgive. It is a very difficult thing, and it might be a long road depending on what you have to forgive, but once you decide to do it, God will bless you.
It seems to me, Erin, too, sometimes it's easier for us, and never easy, but to forgive someone else, but sometimes we can't forgive ourselves. How do we forgive ourselves for things that we've done?
Yeah, I mean, it's all sort of the same way to go easy on ourselves, and, you know, to take the same steps to make that choice and to give ourselves grace that you're not excusing if it was, you know, some bad behavior that you did and saying that, oh, that's okay that I did X, Y, or Z, but just to remind yourself of the grace of God. And it can be difficult, and to forgive people that also hurt our loved ones, I think is also more difficult to forgive than if they hurt us. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to forgive. And I think just the more you forgive, the easier it becomes to forgive.
Erin, probably the best first step for any one of us is to be able to watch the film, to experience it as you experienced it. How can people do that?
Yeah, my website is -entertainmentllc.com. So the trailer's right on the homepage, and people can either buy a DVD or they can watch it. It's on Amazon. So if they have Amazon Prime, they can actually watch it for free. But you can go to my website and watch that.
Well, I'm going to have to watch it because I'm walking that Camino trail. So that'll be a good way for me to know what to do. Well, Erin, thanks so much for being with us today and for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.